It's 11:07 p.m. in Los Angeles on Thursday, the 5th of April, 2012. It's 9:07 a.m. on Friday, the 6th of April, 2012 in Helsinki. I'm Mark Strassman in Studio City, California. I'm about to talk to Joonas Pekkanen, who is in Helsinki. Welcome to Utopia News.
Thanks. Good to be with you.
Good. Tell us to start with about your day jobs as co-founder and CFO of Flockified and CEO and founder at Marenco Limited. What are those companies? What do you do there?
I'm a startup entrepreneur by day. So I'm a founder, co-founder in a company called Flockified, Flockified.com. And what we're doing there is a tool for organizing groups and communicating, making decisions as a group as to where to go, planning on going on trips, planning on going to live events and so on.
So it's collaborative software.
Well, kind of. It's not something that individuals would start using. It's something that we offer as a B2B service for let's say theater companies or cruise operators or travel agents and so on.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so it's something that they offer their customers as a free tool to make their lives easier, get rid of all the complexities having to do with sending out numerous emails and having an Excel or a spreadsheet where you collect all the answers from the members of the group and so on, making all that easier so that you have kind of a dashboard where you can get people's answers in one place and you can set up automatic reminders for Facebook and as SMS and email and so on. Make sure that everybody in the group is on the same page.
Okay, good. So we're going to talk about open ministry. What gave you the inspiration to start it, and what is it?
Well, we've been working on it only for a few months now. In Finland, the Citizens Initiative Act was passed by the Parliament on the 7th of December 2011, and I read about it in the newspaper a few days after. And that kind of gave me the final inspiration to start doing something about it. The open ministry is kind of a shadow ministry by the people to pass legislation in the form of propose legislation in the form of citizens initiatives, very similar to actual ministries of the government who prepare their versions of the legislation or law proposals. We prepare as a crowdsourced effort our versions, and those are then passed to the Parliament.
Okay, and what did the Parliament pass in that law that makes this possible?
They passed the actual Citizens Initiative law, and they made the amendments to the Constitution that are required. It's a basic right now in Finland for any citizen to set up a citizens initiative and start collecting the needed support. The support is 50,000, or the needed support is 50,000 citizens to sign electronically or in paper format. But the interesting part is the electronic signing of the initiatives, and once those are collected, the Parliament has to vote or discuss and vote on the initiatives.
So the purpose of open ministry is to allow the citizens of Finland to collaborate with each other to develop laws that will be proposed for the Parliament to consider.
Yeah, exactly. The citizens initiatives can be in either of two formats. They can either be very general proposals for requesting the government to take action upon some issue, or they can be, and this is what open ministry is focusing on, they can be in the format of actual law proposals with the actual clauses and
The actual language.
The actual legal language in the same format as the bills would be that come from the government. And if they are in that format, they are then treated a bit differently when they go to the parliament. If they are in the form of actual law proposal, the parliament votes upon it, and if they are in favor, it actually becomes into force pretty much right away. And if it's the first type of proposal, a general request for the government to take action, then the process is much longer. If the parliament votes in favor, then the government starts looking into it and sets up a committee or assigns a ministry to start preparing the actual legislation and so on. So that's obviously a much longer process. So in terms of direct democracy, it's much more effective to prepare the citizens' initiatives into actual legal documents or law proposals. And that's what we are doing. We're focusing on that, crowdsourcing the generation of those law proposals.
Okay. Now, how does a person who has an idea for a law go about getting involved with Open Ministry, and what are the steps they take?
Yeah, we're trying to make the threshold as low as possible for people to suggest their ideas. So far, we've our web pages have gotten about 150 proposals or ideas from people suggesting changes that they would like to make into the legislation or into existing laws, or getting rid of a specific law or passing a completely new law. So we want to keep the threshold as low as possible for making those suggestions, and then gathering people around those ideas to take them further. So the person who actually makes the initial suggestion doesn't have to necessarily go into too much trouble. If there's a group of people that join and start taking it further, then it's an actual collaborative effort.
Now, do you have experts, lawyers, and other subject experts who then take the ideas and run with them and develop them further?
Yeah, that's pretty much the idea. We want to see first how far people, citizens, can get in terms of formulating the ideas by us just giving them advice along the road. But before the initiative is finalized into the format that will then start to be signed by the people, there's actually a 6-month period in which the 50,000 signatures have to be collected. But before that starts, there's a final check with the legal experts then to make sure that everything's in the right format. Our kind of idea is that we would like to see people, if there's enough collaboration and collaborative effort around the ideas, that to be able to take it as far as possible without having lawyers get involved. So at the last stage, just to make sure everything's in the right format, they would come in and just check.
Okay, tell us what deliberative democracy is and how this is an example of it.
Well, how we see it is that we want to empower people to suggest ideas and then take those ideas forward, gather support for them with open dialogue with everybody who's involved, learning in the process. So it's about not so much about finding compromise, but everybody kind of learning along the way. And Finland is kind of a good place to test out those theories, whether we can show that they work, since such a large proportion of the people are online and can take part in this kind of kind of work, and compared to many other countries, the population is quite similar. It's quite homogenic in the end. I mean, there's not so much cultural variation within the country. So.
Okay, how does this process of preparing a law compare with the writing of software in open source format?
Well, there's many similarities. For example, everything is Creative Commons. All the content that is created, so that's pretty similar in terms of open source. For the content for being available for anybody to use it for any other purpose, and on the other hand, when somebody submits an idea and gets comments, what we want to be doing then is kind of allowing others to make suggestions for improvements upon that idea, and kind of pull requests in terms of open source lingo. So the idea is to both incorporate kind of improvements of the ideas into the actual idea, but also allow branching out of the ideas if there's several tracks that an idea could develop towards.
Does the originator have any special privileges in terms of deciding what the final law will look like?
Yeah. The originator can stick to his or her version of the idea if he or she doesn't want to accept improvements, but that then leaves the door open for anybody to take the idea to another direction. Our challenge within the technical platform is then to make sure that we link, cross-reference those ideas between each other and make sure that it's as easy to use for anybody who's surfing or browsing the pages to see what kind of versions of the same or around the same subject there are within the service.
Okay, so after the people have agreed on a form for the law, what are the next steps in making it to get to the Parliament?
Well, the basic steps are that once an initiative is finalized and we start collecting the signatures, that needed 50,000 signatures for it. There's, as I mentioned, 6 months time to do it according to the law, and part of the signatures can be on paper. So you could, for example, gather 5,000 paper signatures for the initiative and 45,000 electronic signatures. So what our platform will be providing is the electronic signing of them, of the initiatives, and once those 50,000 supporters are gathered, then the initiative, there's a step in between where the officials or the census register checks whether those are valid 50,000 people who have signed, and if they okay it, then it goes to the Parliament.
When will the electronic system be ready to go?
We haven't announced the date, but we're actually working on it now, so it shouldn't be too far along.
Is the government building it, or are you building it?
The government is in the process of contracting a company to build a signing platform for the government, or run by the government. So that's in the works also. That should be out in December.
December of 2012.
Yeah, if they stay on schedule, and let's hope they do. But at the same time, the Citizens Initiative Act that was passed gives the option for any third party like ours to set up our own signing platform, as long as it is audited by the government officials.
Are you thinking of doing that, of maybe doing it in open source yourself?
Yeah, exactly. That's already being looked into. We're doing it open source project where people work on their free time and so on. So depending on how much developers we get involved with the project, that kind of defines how fast we can move on implementing it. But we are currently have already started working on the electronic signing platform, and that will be open source also.
And if you get more people working on it, presumably you'll get it done faster.
Exactly. That's our bottleneck. That's our only bottleneck.
Okay. Well, I hope a lot of people will see this interview and that they'll want to join. How can people get in touch with you to get involved with that project or to learn more about it? I've got some more questions, but I wanted you to give out your URL or your email address so people can know how they can get in touch with you.
Our site is in Finnish, but if you run it through Google Translate, you can get a good picture of what our site is, and the website for our actual platform in production is Avoin Ministeriö. I'll spell that out. So that's AVOINMINISTERIO.fi. So that's a bit long, but you can just Google Open Ministry, and you should find it among the first links. The open source project is on GitHub for anybody to look into. It's under an MIT license, so it's perfect for anybody to use for any purposes.
So people can Google Open Ministry, and that'll help them find where they're looking for it.
Yeah, among the first links. I think the very first links are something to do with religious stuff. But we're among the first links, so you should find us.
Tell us what kind of substantive laws people are talking about proposing so far.
Well, there's a very wide range from very everyday issues to bigger changes that are being proposed. But to give you a few examples, there's the basic income initiative, which suggests that everybody should be guaranteed a certain minimum level of income from with tax money, and that would replace all the existing kind of benefits, whether it be the basic unemployment benefit or student allowances and all the different benefits. So that would be quite a big change. Then there's an initiative for getting, to give you a more trivial example, there's an initiative to get rid of the dog tax law completely. That's being that's being only implemented in 2 cities in Finland, so it's not really a law that's anymore in use. So it would make sense to get rid of that. Then there's a law or a proposal to pass the equal marriage law, meaning that same-gender marriages would be on the same level or treated in a similar fashion as marriages currently. So.
Okay, and so how many of these ideas have been considered through Open Ministry so far?
How do you mean?
How many different proposals are being discussed?
There's about 150 ideas so far. What's been great is that there's really been none or just 1 or 2 ideas that haven't been seriously suggested or kind of there's no hasn't been any trolling or kind of harassing on.
So people
on the website,
are taking it seriously.
Yeah. Part of that is, I think, because we asked people to sign in with their real name, and all the comments and ideas are under their actual. You see the first name and last name of anybody who submitted any idea or comment. On the other hand, that might decrease the activity of people slightly, but on the other hand, we haven't had to moderate the ideas or comments at all almost. So
good.
It's been very clean.
Would you like to see this serve as a model for other countries as well?
Yeah, that's part of the reason why we are now starting to do some international PR around it. So if there's anybody who's interested in setting up a similar site, they're welcome to use the same software and translate the site for their own use. So.
Will you help people in other countries to set this up if they'd like help?
Yeah, I mean, if they just have a few programmers, it's easy for them to set up, and I think there's definitely help to be found among our developers also if anybody needs it.
Of course, you also need the government of the country to enact an initiative law.
Yeah. That's obviously the first stage that you would need to. Or it would be beneficial at least to have the opportunity to sign the have the citizens initiative institution in the first place, and then have it such that you can collect the support in electronic format, because that's the only scalable model basically. I mean, if you have to go to the streets and start collecting thousands of names or tens of thousands of names, that's not really a scalable or modern solution.
Right. Now, the European Citizens Initiative is going to institute a similar program for all of the EU. How does what you're doing relate to that at all?
Yeah, it's pretty similar in that sense, and I think it was partly probably a motivator for the Parliament to pass the Finnish national version of the Citizens Initiative. Also, the National Citizens Initiative law came into force just 1 month before the EU initiative. So they're quite compatible. I mean, we are happy to help our collective Finnish support for any EU initiative. Also, the Commission published that software as open source also, so it should be pretty easy and cheap for anybody to set those platforms up in all the EU countries.
Okay, what role are you playing in the technology and in the politics of this effort?
Well, I'm not a programmer myself, so I'm not the technological guy. So I'm somewhere in between the technology team and the rest of the people involved with the project, trying to get people aware of the project and involved if they feel inspired by the topic. So that's kind of my role, is to spread the awareness and make sure people know what they can do if they want to contribute.
Okay, and how
in terms of politics, we try to stay away from the traditional political scene or the party politics in Finland, and in terms of the content of the ideas and initiatives, we want to make sure that we don't favor any initiatives over others in terms of the content or the political kind of. We don't want to take a political stance. We're more of an enabler and facilitator for the people to actually formulate the policies.
Will you do anything to facilitate the support of people once the laws have reached Parliament to get them passed? Will you use any of this technology to get support for the laws as Parliament considers them?
Yeah, and already before it goes to Parliament, our job is not only to facilitate the actual crowdsourcing of the ideas and their the working collaboration upon those the working on the text of the proposals and so on. We want to be involved also in putting some pressure on the Parliament and working together with the media and so on to make sure that the Parliament has to take the proposals that eventually come out as seriously as possible, and then working together with other non-profit organizations in Finland to track how the actual Parliament members what they say. What they're saying when they discuss the issues or the initiatives in Parliament, how they vote and all that. There's already some people in Finland who are working on that, and that's all. They're getting all that online also through open APIs, so that's something we can tap into. Okay,
finally, how do you see this both as a reflection and as an inspiration for further democratization of politics around the world? There are a lot of people in a lot of countries who are using the internet to make more democracy, and I want you to comment on how this is an example of that and how it might spread to other places and further that process.
Well, hopefully we can set a great example of how it can work when people have the tools in place to be able to actually formulate the legislation. And for us also, we're following closely what's happening in Iceland, where they crowdsourced and will be voting upon the new version of the constitution. And for us, I mean, hopefully we can probably the one good or one clear way it could develop into is more direct democracy. I mean, we're currently working on initiatives that then go to the Parliament and are voted upon there, but perhaps it will work into more and more direct versions of how people can influence, and hopefully what we're testing out and piloting now is something that at least people can learn from or take and implement in their own countries. Okay, so in fact this could be just a step towards even greater direct democracy. Yeah, well, I think everything's always a step towards something. Nothing is ever complete. So definitely we're just a part of the bigger process, I think. Okay, good. I want to thank you very much for your work and for talking to us about it on Utopia News. Tell people again how they can look you up on Google to get more information or to help out. Yeah, well, you can follow us on Twitter. We have an English Twitter account which is open_ministry. You can follow us there. You can find us on Google if you just Google Open Ministry among one of the first hits. So I guess those. I mean, we're also on Facebook, but we don't have an English profile. You can follow our Finnish profile and just. Filter out whatever you don't want to see. Okay, good. I want to thank you again, and I hope we can talk again later to see how the process goes. Yeah, thanks. It was nice talking to you. Okay, bye. Bye-bye.